Dynamic and static stretching can be part of a successful stretching routine that does leave you feeling more flexible as well as strong for class. So let's look at them. There are two simple ways we are going to make all of these static stretches dynamic. This is pressure and movement. As we get into the exercises, think of pressure as testing a hot skillet. You don't slam your hand down on a hot skillet. You lightly touch and then add pressure and time to see how hot it is. Movement will enhance these stretches as long as we're paying attention to what is holding still and what is moving. I'll guide you through this in a minute. And as we go through these movements, I encourage you to pay attention to how each version makes you feel during and after the stretch. So let's get into it. This static stretch is one for the quad, and we see it often. With the hand and the hip sinking down towards the floor, it kind of gives us the illusion that we're really getting a deep stretch. But if you bring your body upright, use your knee for support, pull up in the lower belly, and tuck the hips under, you're gonna actually be getting more stretch in the hip flexor and the quad, giving you a deeper static stretch than when your hand is on the floor. The dynamic version, we add just a simple arm reach. Going up above the head and reaching towards that front leg is gonna give the torso and hip flexors a deeper stretch, specifically through the psoas, which does run up into the torso. Keeping your body more to the side instead of letting it fall forward will give you a deeper stretch through the hip flexors and the quad with that nice rock forward and back motion. In both versions, we utilize the same technique. We're gonna be pulling up in the belly, tucking under in the hip, and pressing forward into a stretch. Your static version is gonna hold for 20 to 30 seconds, while your dynamic version could be done for about a minute as we're moving in and out of the stretch with the hips and arm moving together. This static stretch is for the inner thighs. Dancers commonly use this by dropping down into second, pressing your knees wide with your hands, and feeling a stretch on the inner thigh from the knee up into the groin. The dynamic version also gets a stretch through the inner thigh, but now asks for the inner thigh muscle to be strong and flexible at the same time, which is exactly what is happening in class. This version is better preparing us for the demands of turnout, high extensions, and the dramatic positions that we're asked to go in with our inner thighs. The version on the left is great for after class or a cool down, while the dynamic version on the right is a great warm-up. It asks for strength and flexibility as you move through multiple ranges preparing for class. This static stretch is for the hamstring. And as we slide into the split position, one of the downsides of the static stretch is that it can put a lot of pressure into the front knee. Now, if you are flat in your splits, I find this version a little bit easier. But if you're not, building yourself up on yoga blocks, pushing down through the blocks and holding your torso strong can really assist to take the work out of the knee and push the stretch into the hamstring. This dynamic version is great whether you feel flexible or not. It gives a lot of control into the stretch, allowing you to either ease into it or get deeper. The hinge in the hip with the straight back allows for a higher, deeper stretch in the hamstring while protecting the low back, and the flex in the foot will offer more stretch through the back of the leg and gives you a little bit of room to move that around. Looking at these two stretches side by side, I recommend that you do both. The split hold in the static version after class when you're warm, and the hip hinge version to warm up, and especially if you're looking to increase the range in your hamstring. This static stretch is typically done for the inner thighs and, quote, the hips, something that we value as we look at turnout. But laying on your stomach can sometimes push the work into the low back and into the knees. So bringing yourself up on your knees, squaring off the angle, and holding your torso strong can really push a nice static stretch into the inner thighs and open the hips. In the dynamic version, we're gonna add a movement of the thigh rotating because the glute engages and pulls the foot up. So I'm thinking of squeezing my glute to internally rotate my leg. Now this is very important as you want better turnout. Turnout is typically thought of as just the inner thighs, but we need the internal rotation to be stretched and strong in order for your hips to continuously turn out and turn out more. The stretch on the left is perfect after class when you want to release your inner thighs. 20 to 30 seconds is all that you need. The dynamic stretch on the right is perfect for those that want to increase their turnout, extensions, or flexibility in their hips. Stretching their inner thighs and internal rotation muscles are vital. You may have noticed that in the dynamic version of these stretches, you felt more afterwards. And many do report feeling to stretch more or deeper in this version as well. If you're wondering why it matters, which version we do, or when is it best to do what type of stretch, check back next week or check the little box in the corner for a video that breaks down all of this and more. You can get more out of your stretches while practicing safe and effective techniques that truly change your dancing. And if you're ready for guidance, routine, and easy to follow exercises, grab my Dancer Strong Flexibility Program in the description below. And if you liked this video, a thumbs up gives me so much support and really truly does allow me to make more videos like this. So be sure to thumbs up, like Align Fitness by Allie, and I'll see you all next time.